When vengeance calls, only the fiercest survive. That's the brutal, relentless pulse driving Sisu. Road to Revenge, the 2025 action war film from Finnish filmmaker Aatami Helanda, known for blending raw physicality with dark humor and stark landscapes. Helander returns here with a story that's as much about survival as it is about the haunting weight of loss. Clocking in at a lean 89 minutes, this film zeroes in on single-minded fury and unyielding grit. With Jorma Tammila leading a cast that includes Stephen Lang and Richard Brake, Sisu stakes its claim as a visceral, no-frills revenge saga set against the grim backdrop of war. Today we're cutting into how this film crafts its tension, performance, and thematic punch in a cinematic landscape packed with high-stakes action thrillers. At its core, Sisu, Road to Revenge tells the story of a man who returns to the site where his family was slaughtered during wartime. Rather than burying the past, he dismantles their home piece by piece, loading it onto a truck with the intention of rebuilding it somewhere safe. A physical and emotional journey of reclaiming what was lost. The film blends action and war genres, delivering a relentless chase sequence as a Red Army commander. The man responsible for that tragic violence returns to finish what he started. Released theatrically in 2025, Sisu arrives amid a growing appetite for compact, intense revenge narratives that combine historical weight with kinetic spectacle. While not a sequel, it fits into the current wave of European action films that trade in grit and grounded brutality over CGI excess. Jalmari Helander's direction here leans into his trademark style, tight, purposeful framing that refuses to waste a moment. His previous works show a keen eye for rugged landscapes and practical effects, and Sisu appears to double down on that. The visual style likely emphasizes stark contrasts, the cold, desolate, war-torn environment against the fiery intensity of the chase. Camera movement is probably deliberate yet immersive, using handheld work to put viewers in the midst of the relentless pursuit, while wider shots capture the isolation and scale of the protagonist's journey. Editing likely keeps a sharp, repulsive rhythm, cutting quickly between moments of brutal combat and quieter, haunting respites. For tension and drama, Helander's approach favors raw, physical storytelling over exposition, letting the visceral action carry the emotional weight. Unpacking the emotional weight. The action sequences themselves are expected to be visceral and impactful, grounded in real physicality rather than stylized choreography. Given Helander's known strengths, expect practical stunts and a gritty realism that enhances the stakes. Every punch, every chase feels earned and dangerous. The drama is likely underscored by minimalist storytelling, where silence and setting play as much a role as dialogue. This makes the film's tension feel organic, a direct extension of the protagonist's grim determination and the unforgiving environment. Front and center is Jorma Tammila, who returns as the man who refuses to die. Tammila's reputation for intense, physically commanding performances primes audiences for a lead who carries the entire film's emotional and narrative weight. His ability to convey stoic resilience and simmering rage without relying heavily on dialogue will be crucial here. Supporting him is a strong ensemble, including Stephen Lang and Richard Brake, actors known for their menacing presence and capacity for layered antagonists. This cast dynamic suggests a tense, charged chemistry where every confrontation carries weight. Early reactions hint that the performances ground the film's high-octane premise in palpable human stakes, which is essential for a revenge story that could otherwise veer into cliché. The ensemble's strength lies in its balance. Tamila's quiet menace, paired with Lang and Brake's formidable villainy, promises a film where character presence fuels the relentless pace. Martnerk and the rest of the supporting cast add depth to the wartime backdrop, making the chase feel bigger than just a personal vendetta. It's a clash of survival instincts and brutal history. This group's chemistry likely lends credibility to the stakes, reinforcing that this is a fight to the death, not just a shootout for spectacle. Writing-wise, Helanda's script seems focused on a stripped-down revenge narrative that doubles as a meditation on resilience and memory. The structure appears tight, favoring a linear progression through the protagonist's journey rather than complicated subplots. Themes of loss, reclamation, and the haunting persistence of past violence thread through the story. The act of dismantling and transporting the family home functions as a powerful metaphor for rebuilding identity amid destruction. The film likely explores how trauma fuels determination, with the relentless chase serving as both physical and symbolic reckoning. While the story doesn't appear to rely on twists, it promises emotional and visual payoff through its singular focus and thematic clarity. The script's economy is a strength here. In a genre often prone to overcomplication or excessive spectacle, Sisu seems to embrace simplicity and directness. This allows the emotional core, a man's refusal to let his family's memory be erased, to shine through. The dialogue is probably minimal, with tension carried more through visual storytelling and performance. This approach aligns with the film's runtime and pacing, ensuring every scene contributes to the mounting pressure and narrative propulsion. When we look at Sisu within a broader context, it stands apart from typical Hollywood revenge or war thrillers by embracing a European sensibility, raw, unpolished, and deeply personal. While it's not part of a larger franchise, it shares DNA with films like Mad Max in its relentless chase and John Wick in its singular focus on vengeance, but with a distinct wartime gravitas and a grounded protagonist. Unlike sprawling blockbusters, Sisu likely prioritizes intimate storytelling and practical effects over CGI spectacle. This positions it well for audiences craving authentic tension and a visceral cinematic experience, rather than a high-concept thriller. Compared to standard genre fare, Sisu's strengths appear to lie in mood and atmosphere. The unforgiving environment almost becomes a character itself. The film's lean runtime and tight pacing suggest it doesn't get bogged down in exposition or convoluted plotting, but instead delivers a lean, mean narrative engine. Fans of compact revenge thrillers with emotional stakes, like The Revenant or Cold Pursuit, might find much to appreciate here. It's a film that favors physicality and mood over elaborate twists, which may be a refreshing shift for genre enthusiasts tired of overstuffed blockbusters. So, who is Sisu for? It's clearly tailored for viewers who appreciate intense, character-driven action set in a historical context. Those who want their revenge stories raw, and their stakes high without the distraction of heavy CGI or sprawling subplot. Fans of Jalmari Hilander's previous work will find familiar strengths: grit, practical effects, and a protagonist who embodies toughness and resilience. However, if you're looking for a blockbuster spectacle or a complex narrative labyrinth, this may not be your first pick. The film's brevity and focus might leave some craving deeper character development or backstory, but that's a trade-off for its relentless pace and emotional clarity. Overall, Sisu, Road to Revenge, stakes a strong claim as a tight, unforgiving thriller that delivers on the promise of its premise. The combination of Helander's direction, Tomila's commanding lead performance, and a supporting cast that brings menace and weight makes it a standout in the revenge war subgenre. It's a film that respects its audience's intelligence by trusting visuals and performances over exposition. For those in search of a lean, emotionally charged action film with real stakes, Sisu is well worth the watch. For everyone else, it might be a tough slog, but one that rewards persistence. In the end, Sisu, Road to Revenge reminds us why some stories need no embellishment, just raw fury, relentless pursuit, and the unbreakable human spirit. That's the kind of cinematic grit that cuts through the noise. If you're drawn to stories where vengeance is a force of nature, this film will deliver. Thanks for watching Cut to Real. If you want more sharp breakdowns of films that mean business, stick around. We've got plenty more to cut into. Thanks for watching Cut to Real. I'll see you next time for another look beneath the surface of cinema's best.